7 daily habits that make you unstoppable. Denzel Washington. Let me tell you something. Success is not magic. It's not luck. It's not reserved for the chosen few. Success is built brick by brick, day by day, through habits. What you do daily shapes who you become permanently. Everybody wants to be unstoppable. Everybody wants to rise to the top. But not everybody is willing to commit to the discipline of daily habits that separate the average from the extraordinary. See, we live in a world full of distractions, full of shortcuts, full of people who want the reward without the grind. But if you want to be unstoppable, you've got to master yourself first. You've got to set a standard for your life and stick to it no matter what. It's not about what you do once in a while. It's about what you do every single day, when nobody's watching, when the lights are off, when there's no applause. These habits I'm going to share with you, they aren't complicated, they aren't glamorous, but they are powerful. They are the kind of habits that build discipline, sharpen focus, fuel consistency, and keep you moving forward when others quit. They are the habits that make the difference between living a life of excuses and living a life of excellence. So if you're ready to step up, if you're ready to stop talking about what you're going to do and start living it out, then lean in. Because when you master these daily habits, you won't just be successful, you'll be unstoppable. Own your morning before the world does, because that first hour belongs to you, or it belongs to everyone else. The way you rise, the way you move, the way you think in those early moments sets the standard for your entire day. Most people wake up and immediately hand their focus over to distractions, emails, messages, notifications, other people's problems. From the moment their feet hit the floor, they're already behind, reacting instead of creating. But if you decide to own your morning, you flip the script. You tell the day how it's going to go instead of letting the day tell you. You establish control, you establish order, you establish energy before the world has a chance to drain it from you. Owning your morning doesn't mean you need to spend hours doing everything under the sun. It means you carve out intentional time for what matters most to you. It's about setting the tone with focus, discipline, and clarity. It could be prayer, meditation, or journaling to align your mind and spirit. It could be exercise to wake your body and release strength you'll need later. It could be reading something powerful that feeds your mind with positivity instead of chaos. Whatever it is, you choose it deliberately, and by choosing it, you claim authority over your time and your life. When you take ownership of your mornings, you stop running on autopilot. You stop stumbling out of bed and letting the noise of the world dictate your emotions. Instead, you wake with purpose. You begin your day with intention. That alone separates you from most people, because the majority are content to drift. They hope for success, but live without structure. They dream about change, but keep doing the same routine that leaves them empty. Owning your morning breaks that cycle. It tells your subconscious mind that you are serious about who you're becoming and what you're building. It's in the morning that champions sharpen their edge. The athlete laces up before the sun rises. The leader studies while others are still asleep. The dreamer writes down visions before the rest of the world even opens its eyes. That consistency, that discipline, compounds over time until it creates momentum that can't be stopped. You don't get stronger by accident, you get stronger by what you choose to do repeatedly, and the morning is the perfect place to set that rhythm. When you make your mornings yours, you start walking into the day ahead of the competition. You're already aligned, already focused, already moving while others are still figuring out how to catch up. That edge matters. It builds confidence, it builds momentum, it builds discipline that carries into the rest of the day. And it reminds you that while you can't control everything that happens, you can control how you prepare. Owning the morning is not about perfection. It's about claiming the most important part of your day as your own, using it to fuel your mind, strengthen your body, and sharpen your spirit before the world has the chance to pull you in 1,000 directions. Feed your mind with focus and knowledge daily, because your thoughts shape your reality. And what you put in your mind determines what comes out of your life. Just like your body needs food to stay strong, your mind needs nourishment to stay sharp. Too many people go through life starving their minds, filling their heads with junk, with gossip, with negativity, with distractions that drain them instead of feed them. Then they wonder why they don't have clarity, why they can't focus, why they feel stuck. If you want to be unstoppable, you've got to take responsibility for what you consume mentally. You've got to treat your mind like the engine that drives everything else, because that's exactly what it is. When you feed your mind with focus and knowledge, you're programming yourself for growth. Every book you read, every podcast you listen to, every conversation you have with someone who challenges you adds something to your arsenal. It gives you tools. It gives you perspective. It gives you wisdom to make better choices. It's not about cramming information. It's about intentionally choosing what to feed yourself with so you can build a foundation of strength. Knowledge expands your world, and when your world expands, your possibilities expand. But it's not just about knowledge, it's about focus. Knowledge without focus becomes clutter. You can read 100 books, watch endless videos, collect all the advice in the world, but if your mind is scattered, if your attention is divided, you won't apply any of it. Focus is what allows you to take what you've learned and put it into action. Focus is saying, this is what matters right now. This is where my energy is going. When you combine knowledge with focus, you create momentum. You stop drifting and you start directing your life with purpose. Think about it like this: your mind is a garden. If you don't plant seeds of growth, weeds of negativity will take over. Every day you have a choice. Do you let random noise grow wild in your head? Or do you plant something that will produce fruit? Reading 10 pages a day, listening to something uplifting on your commute, journaling your thoughts, these aren't small acts. They are seeds, and over time those seeds grow into habits. Those habits shape your mindset, and your mindset shapes your destiny. Feeding your mind with focus and knowledge also gives you an edge in a world where most people are distracted. While others are scrolling endlessly, you're learning. While others are complaining, you're growing. While others are staying the same, you're evolving. That edge compounds. One new idea can lead to a breakthrough. One shift in perspective can open a door you never saw before. One piece of wisdom can save you years of wasted effort. And the only way you get to those breakthroughs is by making a daily commitment to put the right things into your head. If you want to be unstoppable, protect your mental diet the same way you'd protect your physical health. Don't feed yourself poison and expect to thrive. Don't starve your brain and expect it to perform. Every day, decide to fill your mind with focus, knowledge that lifts you higher, sharpens your vision, and fuels your actions. Because what you feed will grow, and when you feed your mind with the right things, you grow into the person capable of achieving the life you were created for. Discipline your body with consistent movement, because your body is the vehicle that carries your dreams, and if you neglect it, everything else suffers. Too many people want to achieve greatness, but they treat their health as an afterthought. They pour energy into their work, their goals, their ambitions, but they don't realize that without strength, without stamina, without energy, they won't have the capacity to sustain the success they're chasing. The body is not separate from the mind or the spirit. It's all connected. When you discipline your body with consistent movement, you are building the foundation for everything else in your life to stand on. Movement is not about chasing a perfect image or competing with anyone else. It's about keeping the promise to yourself that you will care for the only body you've been given. Consistency is more important than intensity. It's not about running a marathon tomorrow. It's about doing something every single day that strengthens you. A walk, a workout, stretching, lifting, whatever it is, it's the act of moving that builds resilience. When you push your body to move when it doesn't feel like it, you're training your discipline. That discipline transfers into every other area of your life, because the same muscle that says, get up and move, is the one that says, keep going when things get hard. Your body responds to what you repeatedly do. If you sit still every day, your body learns to be sluggish. If you train it, challenge it, and move it, your body learns to be strong, alert, and capable. That strength affects the way you think. Exercise clears the fog, lifts your energy, and sharpens your focus. It reduces stress and fuels creativity. That's why some of the most successful people in the world prioritize fitness. It's not just about health. It's about mental clarity and performance. They understand that a disciplined body supports a disciplined mind. Consistent movement also teaches patience. Results don't come overnight, but every small step compounds. The push-ups that feel insignificant today become strength tomorrow. The jogs that feel ordinary add up to endurance later. Progress is slow, but it is steady. And that steadiness is what transforms you. It teaches you to play the long game, to understand that greatness is not about instant gratification, but about daily dedication. Disciplining your body is also a form of respect for yourself and for the opportunities you've been given. You cannot chase big dreams with low energy. You cannot lead others if you can't even lead yourself to get up and move. Treating your body as a priority tells your mind and spirit that you are serious about your mission. It tells your future that you're preparing to meet it strong, not broken down. Every drop of sweat is an investment. Every rep, every step, every stretch is a deposit into your future. You may not see it right away, but when challenges come, when long hours test you, when the weight of responsibility feels heavy, the strength you built through consistent movement will carry you through. Discipline your body, and it will reward you with energy, resilience, and power that make you unstoppable. Practice gratitude to shift your perspective, because the way you see life determines how you experience it. Gratitude is not just saying thank you when things go right, it's choosing to recognize the value in what you already have, even while reaching for more. Too many people wake up and immediately focus on what's missing, what's wrong, what's unfair. They measure their lives by what they lack instead of what they possess. That mindset drains energy, fuels frustration, and blinds them to opportunities sitting right in front of them. Gratitude flips that script. Gratitude shifts your perspective from scarcity to abundance, from frustration to possibility, from weakness to strength. When you practice gratitude daily, you retrain your mind to see blessings instead of burdens. You start to realize that the things you overlook are the very things that give your life meaning. The breath in your lungs, the roof over your head, the people who love you, the lessons you've learned through struggle. Gratitude grounds you. It stops you from chasing happiness only in the future and helps you experience it in the present. And when you can be thankful for what you already have, you position yourself to attract and handle more. Gratitude also strengthens resilience. When you face challenges, when doors close, when things don't go your way, gratitude keeps you from sinking into despair. It reminds you that even in loss, there is still something to hold on to, something to learn, something to build from. Gratitude doesn't ignore pain, but it gives you the strength to walk through it without losing hope. It's the reminder that setbacks don't erase the blessings you still carry. That shift in perspective is what allows you to keep moving forward with determination instead of quitting in frustration. The habit of gratitude changes how you interact with people too. When you appreciate others, when you take the time to acknowledge their contributions, you build stronger relationships. Gratitude softens pride and builds humility. It makes you slower to complain and quicker to uplift. And when you lead with gratitude, people feel it, they're drawn to it, inspired by it, and motivated to give their best around you. Gratitude creates an atmosphere of positivity that lifts everyone it touches. Practicing gratitude doesn't require complicated rituals. It's as simple as starting your day by naming 3 things you're thankful for, writing them down, or speaking them out loud. It could be reflecting at night on the small wins of the day, instead of only focusing on what went wrong. It could be pausing in the middle of a stressful moment to breathe and remind yourself of what's still good. These simple acts build a powerful mindset, one that sees possibility instead of problems. Perspective is everything, and gratitude is the lens that sharpens your vision. Where others see lack, you see abundance. Where others see obstacles, you see opportunities. Where others see endings, you see beginnings. Gratitude shifts your energy, and that energy determines how you show up, how you fight for your goals, and how you keep pushing when life gets heavy. When you practice it daily, it becomes second nature, and that shift in perspective makes you unstoppable. Guard your circle. Surround yourself with winners, because the people closest to you will shape the person you become. Energy is contagious, and whether you realize it or not, you are absorbing the attitudes, habits, and beliefs of the people you spend the most time with. If you keep company with complainers, you'll find yourself complaining. If you keep company with quitters, you'll find yourself quitting. But when you surround yourself with winners, people who dream bigger, think sharper, and push harder, you rise to their level. Your circle can either be your prison or your passport, and the choice is yours. Winners aren't just people who succeed on paper, they are people who push you to become better. They're the ones who call you out when you're slacking, who won't let you settle for average, who remind you of your potential when you start to doubt yourself. They don't compete against you, they compete with you, pushing you to higher levels. They see your greatness even when you can't, and they challenge you to bring it out. That kind of energy is priceless, because iron sharpens iron, and without the right sharpening, your edge gets dull. Guarding your circle also means being intentional about who you let in. Not everyone deserves access to your vision. Some people are dream killers, carrying doubt and negativity everywhere they go. They'll laugh at your ideas, remind you of your failures, and try to drag you back to the level they're stuck at. If you're not careful, their voice becomes louder than your own belief. That's why you must protect your environment like it's sacred, because it is. Your dreams can't survive in toxic soil. They need the right environment to grow, and that environment is created by the people around you. Sometimes guarding your circle means making hard choices. It might mean stepping away from relationships that drain you. It might mean spending less time with people who refuse to grow. It doesn't mean you stop loving them, but it does mean you stop letting them limit you. You've got to decide what matters more, holding on to comfort or stepping into growth. Winners understand that elevation requires separation. You can't climb if you're weighed down by people who are content with staying on the ground. Surrounding yourself with winners doesn't just push you forward, it also expands your vision. When you're around people who think bigger, who see opportunities where others see problems, who turn setbacks into comebacks, your own perspective changes. Their belief rubs off on you. Their drive sparks something in you. Their habits become a model for your own. Without even realizing it, you start to raise your standard simply because of who you're walking with. Guarding your circle is one of the most powerful habits you can practice because it protects your energy, your vision, and your future. Your circle is either fueling you or draining you. It's either multiplying your belief or feeding your doubt. And if you want to be unstoppable, you can't afford to let negativity sit at your table. Winners sharpen winners, and when you keep the right people close, you position yourself to keep rising no matter what comes your way. Take consistent action, even when you don't feel like it, because success doesn't respond to moods, it responds to movement. Anybody can take action when they're excited, when they're motivated, when everything feels good. But champions are built on the days when they push forward despite not feeling like it. Feelings are temporary, they rise and fall, but habits, discipline, and commitment create results that last. If you only move when you feel ready, you'll never get far, because most of the time life won't wait for you to feel like it. Progress belongs to those who act anyway. Consistent action is what separates dreamers from doers. Dreams sound beautiful, they inspire, they create vision, but without action they remain fantasies. Every goal, every achievement, every breakthrough is built one action at a time. Sending the email, making the call, studying the material, practicing the craft, showing up for the workout. These small, often unglamorous actions stacked together create unstoppable momentum. It's not about giant leaps, it's about steady steps repeated faithfully. Even when the results are invisible at first, the consistency compounds until the payoff is undeniable. The truth is, waiting for motivation is a trap. Motivation is fleeting, discipline is steady. The ones who win are the ones who build routines that don't depend on emotion. They know the assignment, they know the standard, and they show up regardless of how they feel. That's why consistent action is so powerful. It builds trust within yourself. Each time you keep going when you don't feel like it, you prove to yourself that you can be counted on. That trust becomes confidence, and confidence builds momentum. Taking action when it's hard also builds resilience. Life will throw obstacles, delays, and disappointments in your path. If you quit every time the road gets rough, you'll never reach your destination. But if you develop the habit of moving forward anyway, you train yourself to push through storms. You learn that discomfort doesn't destroy you, that fatigue doesn't define you, that doubt doesn't decide your destiny. Every time you act in spite of how you feel, you get stronger, and that strength makes you unstoppable. Consistency is not glamorous, but it's transformative. Think about water dripping on a rock. One drop means nothing, but drip after drip, day after day, it carves through stone. That's the power of action taken consistently. Over time it shapes, it transforms, it creates results that nobody can deny. That's what happens in your life when you keep showing up. People may not notice at first, you may not even notice yourself, but one day you'll look back and realize the progress was built in those small, steady actions you took when you didn't feel like it. When you take consistent action, regardless of emotion, you gain control over your future. You stop being a slave to moods and become a master of discipline. You stop waiting for the perfect time and realize the perfect time is now. Every day becomes an opportunity to move forward, to advance, to build. And the more consistent you are, the more unstoppable you become, because nothing is stronger than a person who refuses to quit, no matter how they feel. End your day with reflection and preparation for tomorrow, because how you close one chapter determines how you step into the next. Most people rush through their days without pausing to evaluate, to learn, to adjust. They carry the same mistakes into tomorrow because they never stop to reflect on today. Reflection is what gives meaning to your experiences. It's where you pull out the lessons, the victories, and even the failures and use them to grow. Without reflection, time passes but wisdom doesn't develop. When you take a moment at the end of the day to look back, you see where you succeeded, where you fell short, and what can be improved. That awareness is the foundation of progress. Reflection doesn't mean beating yourself up for what went wrong. It means studying yourself with honesty. It's about asking, did I give my best effort? Did I stay aligned with my values? Did I let distractions pull me away from my priorities? By asking these questions, you create clarity. You start to see patterns in your behavior and in your thinking. That awareness allows you to break cycles that hold you back and strengthen the habits that push you forward. Reflection sharpens your perspective so you don't keep walking blindly through the same mistakes. But reflection alone is not enough. you must also prepare. Preparation for tomorrow is how you set yourself up for success before the day even arrives. Laying out your clothes, writing down your priorities, planning your schedule, setting intentions, these small acts create structure. They reduce stress, eliminate decision fatigue, and allow you to step into the morning with focus instead of chaos. When you prepare at night, you wake up already ahead, already moving, already in control. It's a habit that successful people guard because they know tomorrow's momentum starts the night before. Ending your day with reflection and preparation also gives you peace. Instead of lying awake with your mind racing about unfinished tasks, you take control by writing them down and creating a plan. Instead of worrying about what went wrong, you release it by learning from it and deciding how you'll adjust. This clears your mental space so you can rest deeply, and rest is just as important as work. A body and mind that are recharged perform at a higher level. Preparation allows you to let go of the day, knowing that tomorrow is already accounted for. This practice builds discipline over time. It teaches you to value both endings and beginnings. You stop living on autopilot and start living intentionally. You learn to close your day with purpose instead of exhaustion. And when you stack these nights of reflection and preparation, you build consistency that compounds. Each day feeds into the next, creating a rhythm of progress that keeps you moving forward. Greatness is not only about how hard you work during the day, but also about how wisely you close it. Reflection gives you wisdom, preparation gives you direction, and together they ensure that when tomorrow comes, you are not scrambling, you are ready. That readiness becomes an advantage, and that advantage is what makes you unstoppable.